All right, let's do a little prep here. We made it to our 7 o'clock stream. Now I just need to set everything out. Mhm. Ooh. Let's go. There we go. Now I need to fire up my chapter. We can get into it. Yeah, we're doing it. We are doing it. I was struggling to actually start streaming today. I did not want to. I was feeling real lazy. When the 7 o'clock hit, it's like I gotta. So we're doing it. We're doing it. Chapter 1, 2. Okay, here we are. Now I gotta get the text to speech going. Alrighty. Really advanced of continental truth. Cool. pause this video. All right. Interesting. I'm actually. I wanna watch a video on the Anacore. I wonder if it's been animated. Wait, am I at? Oh, I'm at time. Oh, nice. All right, I'm gonna come back and watch a video on the Anacore, but time for a break. I'm back. That was longer than 5 minutes, but it's okay. Oh, I need water. Oh yeah, I wanted to find a video of the inner core. Yeah, inner core. Scout. Oh, this can't be good. Hmm. Nine years ago. Mhm. I, I am ready. I am ready. Fact, we can turn up the value on this. Let's watch together.
The center of the Earth lies about 4,000 miles below its surface, so it's going to be a long trip. The layer I'm smashing through right now is the crust. It's something like the skin of an apple, except you can't bite off a piece when you compare it to the other layers that make up the Earth. Hey, look at that rabbit! Those cuties dig tunnels up to 2 feet deep, so I'm not actually surprised to meet it here. And gross, was that an earthworm? Some of the deep burrowing types, also known as night crawlers, get big and can live 10 feet below the surface. Moving on. Did you hear that beeping sound? That must be one of those gold diggers. A good metal detector still works at this depth. But you're not likely to find any gold. Maybe a large piece of metal, like a car or something. And this must be the Mole Man Burrow. Seriously, there was a guy in London who was digging for 40 years under his house and stopped at 26 feet. What was he looking for? Now, remember how I said the crust wasn't really that thick? It's roughly 21 miles thick and made up of basaltic rocks that are under the sea and granitic rocks that make up the continents. So there's oceanic crust and continental crust. Whoa, was that a crocodile? Nile crocodiles dig the deepest burrows among all animals, so you can find them at 39 feet underground. Apparently not only crocodiles feel the desire to hide from the rest of the world, there are whole underground cities with shelters and catacombs in different countries. The deepest of them lies at 278 feet under Cappadocia in Turkey. Its 18 levels could house 20,000 people.
The heck?
How would they all get there? Today, they could just catch a train at the world's deepest metro station in Kiev, Ukraine,
No way.
lying at 348 feet. While people have advanced technologies these days to dig this deep, trees just naturally grow this way. In South Africa, there are species whose roots reach up to 400 feet below the surface. I'm currently moving through continental crust, as you see, and 2 important things you should know about it are that it's about 2 billion years old, even though the oldest rock is 4 billion and it was found on the shore of Hudson Bay, Canada. And it covers about 40% of the Earth. Yeah, the rest is oceanic crust. The granitic rocks that it's made of have more silicon, aluminum, and even more oxygen in them than basaltic rocks, because they have access to open air on the surface. The crust is the source of all the metals and minerals humans have ever used, except for diamonds, which are much deeper. I think we'll spot them later. Do you have pockets? Heh. What was that? People in their running gear? As crazy as it sounds, in 2004, a half marathon was organized in the Boccia salt mine in Poland. It was the deepest half marathon ever. You don't often see people running at a depth of 695 feet after all. Boy, nothing can surprise me now that I've seen this, except for maybe bats. What are you guys doing here? 1,000 brown bats spend every winter in a New York zinc mine. How cozy. Ooh, it's getting cold. This is the deepest point you can find permafrost, or permanently frozen soil layers at. Speaking of frost, the Earth's crust serves as an electric blanket that covers the mantle. It's rich in the radioactive elements uranium, thorium, and potassium, which produce heat. Moving on, this here looks like a good hiding spot. The deepest cave in the world is Veryovkina Cave in Georgia, the country, not the state, at about 1.4 miles below the ground. And that was a train I heard. Wait, how could a train possibly run this deep? It couldn't until 2016, when the deepest and longest underground railway, Gotthard Base Tunnel, was opened in Switzerland. Just when you think you couldn't possibly meet any other living beings down here, here comes the worm from the Tautona mine in South Africa, the deepest multicellular organism. Speaking of mines, the deepest among them is the Mponeng Gold Mine at 2.5 miles, also in South Africa. Well, I'm moving through continental crust. The oceanic crust is never too far, and its average depth is 4.3 miles. It covers around 60% of the surface of our planet, and is thinner, around 12 miles, denser and younger, it's no older than 180 million years, than the continental crust. It's constantly being born at mid-ocean ridges, and that's what makes the continents move. At 7 miles deep, you have your final chance to see the ocean on this trip. We've just reached the Mariana Trench, the deepest point of the Pacific Ocean. Traveling through the crust was fun, but it had to end at some point, and here comes the border where they don't stamp your passport, the boundary between the crust and the mantle. It's the largest section of the Earth, at 1,801 miles wide. It's made up of magma rock and is heavy, making up 65% of the Earth's mass. It stores many archaeological secrets, and is made up of 4 elements: oxygen, silicon, manganese, and iron. Even though it's basically a solid rock, the mantle is slowly and constantly moving. What was that bling? It must be the remnants of diamonds that were formed here at 93 miles deep 1 billion years ago. Then, as molten rock, they moved up to the surface. The pressure is getting more and more extreme, and it's getting colder and colder down here. This is the deepest point where earthquakes are born. The ones that come from here are rare and get pretty weak by the time they've traveled 435 miles up to the surface. Another 30 miles down on this journey, and here comes the lower mantle. You can thank it for any tectonic plate movements. Whew, why is it getting so hot? Wow, that was some serious change of landscape. At 1,814 miles deep, the mantle ends and the outer core begins. It's a sunless sea of superhot liquid metal that's about the size of Mars. This sea has slow-moving currents and magnetic and electrical fields that produce storms and cyclones. By the way, the Earth owes its magnetic field to the outer core. Without it, life on our planet would simply be impossible. Once every several thousand years, something happens in this layer. The magnetic poles reverse, and north and south change places. It's not likely to happen again soon, though. At 2,750 miles, the inner core welcomes you. It's the hottest, innermost part of the planet. It's a super dense solid ball made of 80% iron and 20% nickel that heats up to 10,800 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty much the same as the surface of the Sun. The inner core is nearly the size of the Moon and makes up 2% of the Earth's mass. If you took all the water in all the oceans and multiplied it by 5, this would be roughly the same as the volume of the inner core. It remains solid thanks to super high pressure, which is 1,000,000 times greater than the pressure on the surface of the planet. Because no one has been this deep, except for us right now, duh, scientists have a lot of research to do in this area. Some of them believe small crystals of iron are born in the outer parts of the core that merge into giant crystals the size of a city closer to the center. That's why the inner core is also called the crystal core. Not so long ago, British scientists found out that the inner core is relatively young, probably somewhere between 500 and 1,000 million years old, and that's nothing in terms of Earth science. It's hard to tell exactly where the center of the Earth is, but it looks like I can put my flag down here at 3,958 miles. Now, that was quite a journey. Now, for those of you who are thinking of packing your bags to go see the Earth's core, I have some not-so-good news. It's technically not possible yet, because there's no way to survive the pressure and extreme heat that are waiting down there. However, if someone built a tunnel that would provide all the necessary protection, it would only take 18 minutes of free-falling to get there. Hey, sign me up!
Really? Only 18 minutes? Only 18 minutes. That's crazy. That's fascinating. I like that presentation. That was good. Something about something was leaking. That was cool. Can we get another? That was awesome. See, however this crocodiles can dig. Very fascinating. 44.5 million price there. I wonder what the most.
Now,
What about don't drinking? Well, you shouldn't drink coffee from a red mug. That's not why I'm on text. I'm kind of getting sidetracked. But you know what? We're learning things. We're learning. Let's learn more. We'll fasten.
oh, fasten your seatbelts. We're setting course for the most bizarre places in our universe, and you'll see the most mysterious phenomena few people have ever seen before. Recently, astronomers have discovered that the supermassive black hole at the center of our home Milky Way galaxy might be leaking. Why is it a significant change? Because it might mean that this black hole, called Sagittarius A star, whose mass is 4.1 million times the mass of our Sun, isn't a sleeping giant as previously thought. It might still be active. And the leakage, recorded by scientists, may be the hole hiccuping while swallowing clouds of gas. Hey, I've been known to do that from time to time. During the research, the team of astronomers used the Hubble Space Telescope. It helped them spot a jet that looked like a blowtorch. It was pushing into clouds of hydrogen at the center of our galaxy. The jet seemed to spew gas like a hose directed into a pile of sand. This often occurs around other active black holes surrounded by the material drawn to them by their immense gravitational pull. Some of this material gets pulled into the black hole, but a small part of it gets swept outward by powerful magnetic fields. The research suggests that when a giant gas cloud gets too close to our supermassive black hole, it gets swallowed, and then the hole belches small jets of matter. Fermi bubbles might be the result of the belches that occurred around 2 to 4 million years ago. But recently, scientists have found another giant glowing bubble of hot gas. It aligned with the jet stretching for 35 light-years or more from the supermassive black hole. Astronomers suspect that the jet could have plowed into this bubble of gas and inflated it. Now, let's visit some other breathtaking places in our universe. But be careful, some of them are extremely dangerous. Like this rotating neutron star called the Black Widow Pulsar. Just like its spider namesake, it's munching on its partner, a lightweight brown dwarf star. The more material this pulsar consumes, the more slowly it spins. The energy the neutron star is losing in the process causes the companion star to dwindle. If it does exist, nuclear pasta is the strongest material in the entire universe. Formed from the leftovers of extinguished stars, this substance gets squeezed into spaghetti-like tangles of material. It can break, but only if you apply 10 billion times the pressure needed to shatter steel. How about visiting a planet where it rains glass? Nah, I'd rather not. You see, this bright blue exoplanet looks peaceful and slightly familiar. Don't you think it slightly resembles Earth? But this pretty appearance hides the planet's terrifying nature. The winds blow at 5,400 miles per hour on its surface. That's 7 times the speed of sound. But that's not the worst. It rains glass sideways in this scorching hot alien world. Solar tsunamis are a solar phenomenon dubbed Terminator events. These tsunamis take place at the sun's equator. Disastrous magnetic field collisions seem to cause ginormous twin tsunamis of plasma. These tsunamis tear across the star's surface, moving at a speed of 1,000 feet per second. They can last for weeks at a time and happen every decade or so. Now look at this space body. Its nickname is Electric Hyperion. This Saturn's moon is one of the most bizarre-looking moons in the solar system, but its appearance isn't the strangest thing about it. This pumice stone-like rock, pockmarked with countless craters, is also charged with static electricity, and it's flowing out into space. Look at this, a rogue planet with auroras. Lost in space and drifting through galaxies, rogue planets were once flung away from their parent stars. But one of them, 200 light-years away from Earth, is different from the rest. It's a planet-sized object with a magnetic field 200 times stronger than that of Jupiter. This field is so powerful that it generates flashing auroras in the planet's atmosphere. Be sure to stay away from black holes. Do I really need to warn you? Yep, they're some of the most perilous objects in the universe. But how about mini black holes? Unlike their massive siblings, hypothetical mini black holes could be really tiny, not bigger than an atom. Even so, just one minuscule thing would have the mass of 1,000 sedans. One theory claims that tons of micro black holes could have been created right after the Big Bang and the beginning of the universe. Some scientists even go as far as to say that a couple of mini black holes pass through our planet every day. Ooh, I'll bet you like our next stop, a burning ice planet. Faraway Neptune-sized exoplanet Gliese 436b is a paradox. It's made of scorching hot ice. The planet completes one full orbit around the red dwarf Gliese 436 in just 2 days. It means it's traveling remarkably close to its parent star. That might be the reason the planet's temperatures rarely drop below 800 degrees Fahrenheit. But the strangest thing? The planet hosts huge volumes of water ice known as Ice X, which remains solid despite blistering temperatures. Now, if you love jewelry, this next world is for you, a diamond planet. About 4,000 light-years away from Earth, there's a planet that seems to be one enormous diamond. The planet is denser than any other discovered so far and consists mostly of carbon. It's so dense that astronomers think this carbon might be crystalline. This in turn might mean that at least some part of the planet is diamond. Moons orbiting other moons might exist, or they might not. Astronomers haven't agreed on this one yet. Planets orbit stars, and moons orbit planets. But then, why can't there be moons, also known as submoons, moonettes, and moons? It actually sounds like one of those flowery Hawaiian dresses, moo-moos. But alas, no. Researchers claim that moons could exist, but the host moon has to be massive enough, the moon small enough, and there must be a wide gulf between these moons and the host planet. Now, I'll take you to the living fossil galaxy. DG-SAT-1 is as big as the Milky Way, but it's nearly invisible because its stars are spread out incredibly thinly. But what makes the galaxy unique is that it's sitting all alone, unlike other galaxies of this kind. Those are usually found in clusters. It can mean that DG-SAT-1 was formed in a different era, probably a mere 1 billion years after the Big Bang. If it's true, this galaxy is a real living fossil. Now, you won't be able to see the next space phenomenon, all because people can't see infrared light. And the phenomenon I'm talking about is an infrared stream from space. Ooh. Neutron stars are ultra-dense collapsed cores of giant stars. They usually emit X-rays or radio waves. But in 2018, astronomers discovered a weird stream of infrared light. It seemed to be coming from a neutron star 800 light-years away from our planet. This signal was probably generated by a disk of dust surrounding the star, but this theory hasn't been proven yet. Behind the orbit of Neptune lies the mysterious Kuiper Belt, filled with massive icy objects. The most curious thing about this space formation, though, is that scientists fail to explain the pattern of its movement. The only explanation they have is that Neptune might be hiding from our sight a ginormous planet. This hypothetical planet has already got the name Planet 9, and all we have to do is wait until its existence is confirmed, or not. Let's visit our star, but we need to be careful not to come too close, because the Sun's atmosphere is hotter than the surface of the star. While on the surface, the temperature reaches 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, the upper atmosphere heats up to millions of degrees. Scientists suspect that explosive bursts of heat from the Sun may have something to do with this unique phenomenon. Now, this space object is also worth visiting. Haumea, a dwarf planet orbiting in the Kuiper Belt, has a bizarre elongated shape and 2 moons. The day on this planet lasts 4 hours, making it the fastest spinning big object in our solar system. But the most mysterious thing about Haumea is that the planet has a thin 40-mile wide ring circling it. Ring-a-ding-ding. That's it for today.
Oh. Wow. This is a good channel. All right. I think we'll call it a little bit early. I got two videos out of this. Yeah, not bad.